It's your favorite absent father VTuber, finally back from the store with milk for my lactose intolerant audience. This year, my gift to you guys is another story time video. Yay! So I'm sure you read the title of the video. We're going to be talking about psych wards, mental health, with a little bit of dark humor sprinkled in there. I think I make a slip and slide joke at some point. And if it bothers you that I'm talking about this thing in such a lighthearted way, you probably shouldn't watch this video. Especially if you're related to me, and you're watching this video, please don't come driving from wherever you are or make a phone call. I am completely fine. No offense at all, but I don't want to get no 5 missed phone calls from people I haven't heard from in 5 months plus. Be like, oh, we didn't know, we didn't see the signs. Why would you? Just shoot me a text if it's really that concerning, whatever I say. You really don't have to fall all over the floor. I'm still here. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we can finally get on with the topic of the video. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is, do not believe those videos about the Storytime animators going to the psych ward. I get that their thing is that they have this cute aesthetic and wholesome and destigmatizing mental health. But I saw those videos before this event, and that made me think I was gonna have a grand old time, just staying to myself, maybe doodle a little bit, make some friends, hold hands, gumdrops and rainbows until I go home. It was not like that. But let me start from the beginning. In one semester of the absolute torture hell known as being an introverted college student, your girl was starting to get a little #Delulu. I was feeling like the Chuck E. Cheese animatronic on a daily basis. I wasn't hysterical or about to play jump rope with the string around my neck, but after the 4th critique of the semester, being surrounded by brain rot college students that you could not force me to socialize with if you locked us in a room together, I wasn't feeling it, to say the least, and I'm still not. And this is the end of the semester, as in there was only 4 days left, and one of them would be spent moving out of my dorm. And I was like, you know what? It's the holidays. I could use a vacation. Now, I want to preface this with that I did seek help, but by this point, my school counselors gave up on me, for lack of a better term. So, if there's any guys with more money than they know what to do with, I might be filling out a crazy girlfriend resume soon. I can't promise I'll be a Minhera, though. I'm not on Twitter that much. Anyway, I wasn't too serious about it because they put some very interesting reviews left on the psych wards in my town. And plus, another source this idea stemmed from was a book I was reading. And it didn't recommend the psych ward itself. It actually was implying I should find a group, like Alcoholics Anonymous, to talk to about my issues, because apparently it helps. But apparently they don't have groups like that for depressed college students. Mostly just people with drug and drinking addictions, which is ironic considering what happens. I thought I was going to a group, not being admitted to a psych ward for an overnight stay. That's kind of my fault, I guess, because outside the words inpatient and outpatient, and in my mind, I kind of figured what those mean, but I probably should have just looked it up. In hindsight, I should have clarified this to the staff so they could have promptly turned me around, and this story wouldn't exist. But content, now granted, I take care of myself a lot more when I'm alone at my dorm than when I'm at home. So it was quite surprising to myself as well that I was so far on a deep end. I was like, maybe I should stay there. And if it sucks, I can just leave and pretend this didn't happen at all. That is not what transpired. First of all, my fam caught me right away. This was supposed to be a secret op, but all of our Lyft accounts are linked. Very smart ninjas thinking on my behalf. I went through this test so they could gauge what my mindset was, that I felt was way longer than necessary for the doctor person to be like, yeah, you seem pretty depressed. Yeah, I know. They had me in the waiting room for an absurd amount of time. and take my vitals every few hours. I don't even need to do anything to myself, bro. These generic Marvel movies, the air conditioning, and the lack of blood will kill me before anything else does. I was in there so long, my mom came in, we talked, and she gave me her hoodie because I was shivering and felt like I was turning into Dobby, which they took from me once they admitted me, because you can't have anything that can pose a threat to your well-being, which would be the strings on a hoodie, which I hadn't even considered could be a danger to somebody. But I guess if they really are like going through some stuff, I guess they could manage it. It must have happened before if they have to be like, no hoodie strings. And I have hoodies with no strings. It was just her hoodie that had strings. Okay, I digress. But maybe that was for the best though, because I have never wanted to kill myself more than when I was in this building for 14 hours. They put me on the top floor with the people with drug and alcohol recovery. And that's where I found out it's not really a place to get therapy. They're just making sure these people get their meds on time. And I don't have any meds. At least none that I'm willingly taking. So I go up to the desk and I'm like, hey, nobody told me life was gonna be this way. And the lady at the desk was not stunning me at all. She was like, not only would I not leave the same day, I wouldn't be leaving for at least 3 days. No. Boy, no way, boy. Boy, no way, boy. And that's when I started doing a little anime thing, like go in separate directions. Like, oh no, I cannot. I can barely be here for 3 hours. You want me to stay here for 72? No. Now, like, you need to get somebody in here now. And so I went in my room and I cried a lot. I cried. Oh. And some people came in, walked back out, came in, walked back out. It's like, oh, you're gonna be okay. And to be fair, they probably thought I was like schizoing out. Like to them, I looked like Courage the Cowardly Dog. But they didn't know just how for real I was being. Like, if I stay here, I'm going to get worse. I wasn't feeling like off myself before, but I sure am now. And I went in my room. I was like, I will get out of here if it's the last thing I do. I was thinking some Mission Impossible stuff. Okay, I'm gonna get the tag off so they don't find me, so they don't alert the little thingies. And I'm gonna slip out the little door that I can barely open by myself. It's so heavy. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but the way when I first walked through those halls where they were figuring out where to put me, it really seemed like some SCP stuff, like the lights were flickering. They were all just staring at me when I was walking by with the nurses. Like, I think I would have to go through every hall, even though it's an elevator I could just press to go to the last floor. I was gonna get my phone back wherever they had put it, because again, I don't know. They had it at the front desk. But anyway, that's not what I was focusing on. I was focused on getting that wrist thing off. So I was biting at it, and I was biting at it. And I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I did get it off a little bit. And I was like, I would literally do this all night. I couldn't go out the window, it was too hot. But everybody else was too busy watching like Tyler Perry movies. So I probably would have actually been able to get out had I had successfully chewed it off. But eventually, my teeth got tired and I just gave it a rest. I had a little red ring around my wrist. And so I just went in there, whatever, I didn't even really watch whatever was on. I kind of just disassociated. They had little coloring books. I had distracted myself with that. Most of the people in there were older, since I had, a drinking problem. There was like 2 young people. One of them was a guy, one of them was a girl. So obviously I had to go with the one that was a girl. I had to room with her. And she was at least kind to me. Like, that's one plus. I don't think she was crazy. She just had a little problem. So that's one thing I'll give to the videos. The other patients were not mean to me. And so eventually it was bedtime, and it was so boring. I actually couldn't wait to go to bed. And when I went to bed, it was horrible. I went to sleep. I woke back up. I went to sleep again. I woke up again. There was this lady, I already said it was like an SCP, but I could faintly hear, somebody exclaiming for help. And she screamed like all night, like, are you a person or a dog? Because dogs are the only type of animal I know can complain literally all night. Like, don't your vocal cords get tired? Okay, editing blub here because I realized how bad this sounds out of context to complain about in a mental ward. I had met this woman before I even got admitted. We were both in the waiting room together for a bit. And the thing is, she would call for help and not need anything. Like when the doctors or the nurses would come up to her and be like, what do you want? She just kind of sat there. And we all had the same bedtime. So odds are she was likely just lying in bed yelling all night. Like, the nurses gave me a bit of sass too, but I find it hard to believe if there was actually something wrong that they just left her there. Okay, back to the video. So that was legitimately kind of spooky. The bed was hard, and so was the pillow. So it was a miracle I could get sleep to begin with. And they took our phones away, so it's not like I knew what time it was. I know at some point it was 6 because the employees were switching shifts. And I was like, I cannot do 3 more days of this. I am getting out tomorrow. And so they put me with this therapist lady, and she was like, yeah, you don't need to be here. And I told her my story and all that, and she worked an actual miracle. She was like, I can get you out of here today, girl. And I was like, thank you. You don't know what you prevented. Because I'm about to get a little crazy up in here. I'm about to do something they ain't never seen before. And I'm not even the one with the problem here. Okay, maybe that's going a little too far. I definitely got something wrong with me. But it's not alcoholism, and hopefully never will be. Shout out to Stella Rosa. But yeah, she hooked me up with a pen and paper since I had repeated constantly that I was not at risk unless they keep me here. So, and she was really trying to do her best. I was really touched. She let me call my mom, and we got it all set up that I would be leaving that evening. And I was just thinking, because like, please God, I would never have another suicidal thought if you get me out of here. And I guess it worked. I felt like a real jerk for making my family worry. They didn't even ask. They were just like, hey, like, what do you mean? My mom does not know that the Gen Z girlies are not okay. Well, she knows a few teenagers, but that's different. They're like, they act as if they've been bit by the zomboid virus or something. They all act like they were born with no sense at all. Like, there's something wrong with us, but not in that way. I'm talking about the people that make Pinterest whispers, which I made a video about. You should check it out. I'm probably not going to link it in the description. I'm just going to put a picture of it. Now for that section of the Gen Z, those are the ones that was doing the nasty lick challenge and are like choking themselves on TikTok. But yeah, was I traumatized by this experience? A little bit, but not for myself, but for the other people that I saw. Like, I can only hope and pray that they're getting the help that they need and that they finally get out of there as well. I still haven't found, like, the 12-step group or anything, and I haven't really tried since then for obvious reasons. But it was a very eye-opening experience. One thing that I know for sure that I learned is that I would never go back there again unless it's involuntary. Unless they can hook me up with these psych wards that they were talking about in the videos. Because it's only after I saw those like cute core mental health psych ward videos that I started seeing the ones that were like, yeah, I had a bad time at that place. Unfortunately, the one that I went to, it wasn't the cleanest, but they were mostly accommodating. So it could have been worse. Yeah, that's kind of all I got. I'm not really sure how to end this video. I don't really have like a speech about taking care of yourself and taking care of your health in multiple ways, mental and physical. But one thing I do want to say is that you probably only want to be checked in if it's an emergency, not if you're just chilling and you feel like Plankton on the ground and ripping his hair out. It's kind of like an emergency line. Like, you wouldn't call that unless you were actually about to do it. And it's also the mental preparation, because like if they have to separate you that immediately, you will not be in access to like anything, like your phone, your belongings. And so most people don't want that, and they don't necessarily need that either. Sometimes just distracting yourself from any negative or risky thoughts would be much better than, a lot better than pulling a me and about to go on an entire Sonic adventure. So yeah, bye. Hope you enjoyed the video. You may not see me ever again for months.